I'm Andrew and have created this channel to say some true stories, some of them unbelievable, some of them frightening, and some of them entertaining. My name is James, and I'm a cemetery worker. Every day I have to deal with many people of different cultures and religions. Nowadays, most people choose to be cremated, so the cemeteries aren't as popular as they used to be, for lack of better term. According to some religions, though cremation is not permitted, people that follow these religions consider very important to have a proper funeral with a burial. They also need to have a headstone on top of the gravesite. The younger generation don't care about these traditions for this reason. Lots of older people make their own funeral arrangements. They buy a plot at the cemetery and also build a headstone on top of it. They say that they do it in order not to burden their children. I know the truth, but simply nod. There was a man in his 70s that came to see me one day. He told me that he had no children and wanted to buy his plot and install a monument on top. Fair enough. If he didn't do it himself, it wasn't likely that distant relatives would do it for him. These people usually don't have anyone to talk to, and started telling me his life story. He took a ship in the 60s to America with nothing, and he worked the American dream. He had gotten married to an American woman. They didn't get to have any kids, and then they got divorced. He was in his mid-60s then and decided that it was time for him to retire. He went to his country of birth, but he realized that he had nothing in common with people there. So he came back to America and was enjoying his life. I made a mental nod, had heard the same story many times before. Told him that I understand that as he doesn't have any children, he wanted to make his arrangements. We agreed on a headstone. I then asked him what he would like inscribed there. He told me to write on the headstone, "Here lieth John Fuad Bashir, born Beirut, Lebanon, the 15th of June 1930, 6 died the 26th of October 2021, rest in peace." It was 2009. The man gave me a date 12 years in the future. I told him that you can't add the date of death now, when this happens. After the funeral, we will go and inscribe it on the headstone. He told me that he knew his future. He had a routine operation a few months ago, and he died during surgery. He was hovering above his body and could listen to doctors trying to save him. Then an angel appeared and told him that his time has not come yet, and he would die on the 26th of October 2021. The doctors considered it a miracle that he survived. He then asked one of the doctors if he had said some things while trying to revive him. The doctor verified it to him, but brushed it off, assuming he had got the information from someone else. After this, John was certain that this encounter with the angel was real. I tried to dissuade him, but he wouldn't have it. He told me that if this isn't added, he won't be signing any paperwork, and he would walk. I didn't want to lose the sale after wasting so much time with the customer. Don't they say the customer is always right? If the customer wants the date of death the 26th of October 2021 there, let him have it. He signed the paperwork, pulled out his checkbook, and wrote me a check. We built a headstone and sent him an email to notify him that everything is complete. The headstone attracted some attention at the cemetery, but most people dismissed it as a prank. Years passed. I am still working at the cemetery and have been promoted, and I'm the general manager now. Sometimes walking around the cemetery, I would see the headstone and wonder what happened to this man. It's not the 26th of October 2021 yet, and if he had passed away, he would have been buried. So most likely he's still alive. In 2020, the COVID lockdown started. Nothing we could do about it, and they lasted for nearly 2 years. We were considered essential workers and had to go to work. Around October 2021, I was checking the cemetery and passed in front of the old headstone. I remembered the guy then. His time was coming. November 2021 came. We didn't receive any notification for his burial, so I assumed that the guy was still alive. Or maybe he had been overseas when he passed and he was buried there. Just speculating. It was the February 2022. I received a notification for a funeral. The name was John Fuad Bashir. He managed to outlive his prediction, I thought. Out of curiosity, I checked the coroner's report. It read that John Fuad Bashir died between the 1st of November 2021 and 15th of November 2021. Exact date of death can't be determined due to decomposition. I realized that he should have died at home. As he was living alone, nobody noticed, and with the COVID lockdowns, it was unusual not to see people for weeks or even months. When the lockdown was lifted, his neighbors wondered where he was and knocked on his door. Receiving no reply, they called the police that hired a locksmith to open the door, and from the foul smell realized what had happened. There was a no-attendance funeral at the cemetery, as he had no relatives or friends, or they simply didn't show up. The grave diggers were curious about the date on the headstone. I told him that this man knew his future. If only we could do the same.